This was the only movie I've seen on a PSP.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's where I saw this.
Wow. Okay. I find Cage's running funny. Like he's kind of forcing himself to run as opposed to every other person who runs in this movie. He feels like a cardboard cutout trying to run.
He runs ugly, what you're saying?
Exactly. Very ugly.
He runs ugly.
Very, very ugly.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Welcome back to an episode of The List. I'm your host, Edward Perez. Joining me as sometimes
Felix.
The title we are scratching off the list today is 2004's National Treasure. A historian races to find the legendary Templar treasure, Assassin's Creed, before a team of mercenaries does so. This was the only movie I've seen on a PSP.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's where I saw this.
Wow. Okay.
Back in like 2004 or 5 or 6, one of those years. I don't know. All those years
This came in 2004.
Yeah. So it must have been like 5 or 6. But yeah, I watched this on a PSP. Obviously not the same as my 70-inch screen. So, you know, it's a different experience.
How many times did you have to recharge your PSP just to finish watching the movie?
It was charged in no time.
Oh, okay.
I was shook a little bit as to the level of legends there are in this cast, honestly.
I know.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, Diane Kruger, Justin Bartha, who he's probably more recognizable from Hangover, Sean Bean, John Voight, Harvey Keitel, and Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, that's fucking up there. Being counted on.
Those are a lot of heavy hitters in the acting game, if I do say so myself. A tidbit, a fun fact that I found out while doing research is that the main families' names are all based off the founding fathers. So you have Ben, Patrick, and John Gates were all named after founding fathers: Benjamin Franklin, Patrick Henry, and John Adams.
And he's he's literally named Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Yeah. Abigail Chase is a combination of Abigail Adams, the wife of John Adams, and Samuel Chase, a singer of the Declaration of Independence. So you would expect that there would be some history Easter eggs along the way. That one bridge that they cross when they're heading over to Pennsylvania is the Ben Franklin Bridge. So there's a lot of tidbits like that. The main thing that everybody's going to remember from this movie, because it basically has become a meme now, is a couple things. I feel like one is how Cage says, "I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence," right?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
that was like a meme that kept carry on, and that's one. And another subtle one, I feel like it was from this. It could have been from something else, but how he thinks, you know.
Timothy Matlack was the official scribe of the Continental Congress, calligrapher, not writer, and to make sure he could not offend the map, it was put on the back of a resolution that he transcribed, a resolution that 55 men signed. The Declaration of Independence.
Have you seen like that kind of meme with the conspiracies? Like, oh, triangle. Triangle means pizza. Pizza has cheese. Cheese has stinky farts. And you just start to combine and link things out of the random blue like that. He kind of thinks like that in this movie. And I feel like that was a meme that was also borrowed from that.
I kind of get it because sometimes my line of thinking is like that, but it's stupid.
It's like the Charlie Day meme, you know?
I love it. I think Charlie Day is the best conspiracy meme ever.
Right. This is like the movie form of that. Just the way he thinks in the beginning, he's just like, wait, let me think. And he just starts to say random shit that magically actually have to link together is weird.
Yeah, like the way he connects things is kind of out of the blue.
While I was watching this, because Disney is plastered all over it, I was thinking the whole time, like, why would Disney put this out for kids? Because if I know something that kids love is American history, you know what I mean? So before the movie got its rating, it was under the Touchstone Pictures banner, which is part of Disney.
What happened to Touchstone?
It's part of Disney.
Still?
Yeah. So when the film got its rating, which is a PG, it was put under the Walt Disney banner, as it's clear that it's more of a family-friendly movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Disney was kind of waiting and seeing if this was going to be PG-13 or not, because there's guns, they got shot at and all that stuff.
But it's interesting in that way because towards the end of the movie, Sean Bean says, if they come out without me,
Yeah.
use your imagination.
Right.
I'm like, no, motherfucker, you have to say blow their brains out.
Right.
But no, family.
Yeah, they were trying to families, but again, it's a weird theme to try to sell to families because it's kind of boring, right? The theme of it, not the movie in itself, is interesting. It's basically every treasure hunting movie you've ever seen, every Indiana Jones, and later like your Uncharted's. But just like Uncharted, and it pisses me off while I'm playing, it always felt like the bad guys are conveniently at the right place at the right time throughout the whole movie, and they conveniently know things that they shouldn't, and that annoyed me to no end. You know?
Yeah.
Like the thing with the kid pissed me off the most. He's gonna notice the little kid like writing things down, and then he's gonna follow the little kid out to the bus stop. Okay, why were they there in the first place? Oh, because they figured things out, but you don't have the glasses. So they kept forcing the bad guys to be like a pressure following you, and it does feel like that. You feel like go run, go get out of here.
Cage and his crew are doing 10 days and a half of work and shit, and they're like, oh, this happens. Oh,
Yeah.
well, 1 + 2 = 10. Let's go. Boom.
And it takes Cage to do it, who's a smart mind. So then I'm supposed to believe Sean Bean with his brutes that just destroy stuff.
Well, he says Sean Bean's character Ian is
Smart and wealthy.
Smart and wealthy, exactly.
It's just, it was very convenient for the movie. The treasure that they're looking for is actually legit and is still legit, like missing. So that was the inspiration for the whole movie and everything
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they use a lot of historians and they use a lot of the history to write this movie, but of course they did it carefully. They hired an ex-cop who was an expert into breaking and entering to plan out the heist scene, the very first heist scene, because while they were filming this movie, they were using the original plans of the National Archives building. But while they were filming, they went through renovations.
Oh, shit.
So they had to adapt to that, and everything changed. That's where this guy came in to write that scene.
I would never expected so much care to be put in a movie like this.
You think it shouldn't even matter if they renovated or not.
Exactly.
Right. But funny enough, you can buy a copy of the film at the National Archives gift shop. I found that was pretty cool.
That's mama. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, how'd you feel about Cage in this?
Normally, actors and their characters elicit feelings in me, and Cage is like one note. Sometimes he puts a little bit of color in his role, but other than that, his deliveries are deadpan, are kind of.
You talking about this movie or always?
Most of his movies,
Okay.
and in this movie, it's Cage, Nicolas Cage.
But it's the least cagey Cage, I feel like.
You think so?
I don't feel like he's that crazy.
Well, not crazy, but I mean, he's like really, really, really toned down just because of the kids. But it's still Cage.
It felt really lacking Cage for me, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, honestly, for this movie, because it's so serious, you know?
It's kind of a bad thing because we know Cage's mannerisms and his over-the-top style. That when you don't have it, it kind of lacks something.
Yeah, but I don't think he was a meme yet, is my point.
Okay. I get it.
He's a meme now. So maybe we're expecting meme Cage, and it was just like chill Cage. There was less action than I was hoping there would be.
Well, almost all the action was at the end when they were getting to the place.
They were chasing. chase scene, Diane Kruger actually performed her own stunts when that's her actually hanging out the back of the van, and she actually hurt herself a little bit, and so much that she
no shit, neta?
Yeah, she took a week off after that. I just expected maybe a little bit more from the movie. I remember it being better than it actually is. What I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. Oh, so much. I don't know why, but I find Cage's running funny. Like he's kind of forcing himself to run, as opposed to every other person who runs in this movie, who's kind of makes natural movements.
Right.
He feels like a cardboard cutout trying to run, and it always stuck with me.
Maybe he don't run. He runs ugly. What you're saying?
Exactly. Very ugly.
He runs ugly.
Very, very ugly.
The romance kiss was terrible. It was in the middle of a danky ass hallway while they're looking for stuff as their hostages. It was so forced and random out of the blue. I did not like that.
I thought that he did that to put something on her person that would help them after.
Yeah. He just grabs her and just like puts his mouth on her mouth.
Like, come here.
And then that's it.
Like those 1930s movie kisses.
Yeah, it was really weird.
And by the end, when Sean Bean was apprehended,
yeah,
that when he was trying to break and enter into the church, I was like, wait, that kind of seems so stupid, because just 3 people in a church with a duffel bag.
I did think that, because they were doing so much more intricate shit for other parts, that he's just gonna try to walk into the front door. That did feel a little lazy.
Yeah, very lazy.
Another little tidbit: Justin Bartha, who plays Riley Poole. 2 things on him. After the movie finished, Homeboy thought it was a good idea with his compillas to shave his head.
What?
Yeah, so he was just like messing around and shave his head. He forgot that reshoots were a possibility.
Oh shit.
So they called him back for a reshoot. So there are 2 specific scenes where he's actually wearing a toupee or wearing a wig on his head.
Oh my God.
When he's in the Ferrari, and then I think is when he's talking to a little kid on the bench. Those 2 scenes he's wearing a wig.
The bench thing, I feel nothing, but the Ferrari felt kind of weird.
Yeah, but it kind of makes sense too, because I mean, you're rich now, so you would get like a haircut, so your hair would look a little bit different.
Simon.
So it didn't look like a wig to me. The other fun thing or curious thing for me with him was that the producers afterwards were kind of forced to put him in more of the movie because he tested well.
Wow. Okay.
So most of his scenes are things that were cut out or like shot on the side, like when he points at Nicolas Cage when the daddy's talking shit, like, you stole the thing of independence, and that's probably the funniest part of the movie when he like points at him. That was like a throwaway shot. They weren't going to use that, but after, like I said, after they tested the movie, they saw that he was testing positive with audiences, so they were scrambling to get footage from him, and they whatever they could find, they threw in here for him. And it doesn't feel like that, which is very good job on them.
Yeah, they did a very good job on that. And as a comic relief, I did not feel like he
toed the line though.
A little bit.
He went right up to the line without crossing it of being annoying. He was pretty close.
Yeah, because there was a couple scenes when I was like, okay, you should shut the fuck up now.
And they tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and that's why I thought, or I felt that, okay, it was okay, it's passable.
He was like,
they were acknowledging that he's kind of a pain in the ass. Right.
I wonder if they edited it that way, but he was towing that line of crossing over to being a big pain in the ass.
And
they did a great job, because he was okay. He was almost a perfect comedic relief, because he's not the fan favorite, but I feel like some people do enjoy him. I didn't think he was. I don't know who my favorite was. I was just some.
I'm gonna say John Voight. I
felt like he was acting older than he actually was during this movie, though.
But see, when the opening of the movie, when Ben was talking with his grandfather and John Voight walks in, I was like, holy shit, it was hella young.
I feel like that's how young he was. But then when they like fast forward to like our time, or when they come back to our time, he's like there was
slouching.
One point, slouching. There was one point where he picks up a coin and he's like got Parkinson's and shit. I'm like, what the hell? How old is John Voight in this movie? He should.
Oh yeah, by the end, right? Like when he was cleaning the medallion.
Yeah, he was like shaking.
Yeah, the attire it took me back where
Yeah.
in the low cut jeans and with Diane Kruger.
Yeah.
And fucking Riley's at the end with the open shirt and a brown suede blazer.
Yeah.
That looked like. Ugh.
I do think that visually it still holds up somewhat, because even that they are using that kind of the attire, I still it could still last a few more years without it feeling too dated.
I mean, it feels dated with the flip phones and the Yahoo browser.
That part it does. I did forget about that. That is true. Maybe what I was saying does not make sense, but I'm saying visually, you know how when you watch an early 2000s movie, it feels like you're watching an early 2000s movie. I didn't really feel that with his.
Oh, I
cinematically, visually,
colors, visually.
That's what I'm saying. Because usually in the early 2000s, they would pick like a color, and it would all be like a little tint of blue, or a little tint of gray, or a little tint of brown. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't have that.
No, this looks colorful.
This looks colorful. A lot of movies in the early 2000s, they would pick a color, and the whole movie would kind of be that color. And they didn't do that here. That's what I'm trying to say. There was a second movie, and if you guys would like us to slog through that, I need this video to get 50 likes. That's not a lot. If you guys want us to do a review on National Treasure 2, hit the like button. I need 50 likes, and if that happens, well, you're going to punish us with National Treasure 2.
Yeah, that movie's rough.
But speaking of movies that feel a little bit dated, I'm going to leave Small Soldiers for you right here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and remember to always and forever, you do you.
Bye.